another parts video, but this one is going to be on shotgun barrels. How to, I guess, pick the right ones. It's somewhat of another farming guide or parts guide, whatever you want to call it. It kind of works for both. But shotguns, in my opinion, are the pinnacle of the Borderlands 2 gun system and really show its strength better than everything. So before I really get into the barrels, I love the way they did shotguns in this game because all the brands of shotguns, from your Jakobs fast fire, fast reload, to your Tediores, your throws, to, your Bandit, wider spreads, lots of pellets. Well, not necessarily more pellets, but your Hyperion reverse recoil for extremely accurate shotguns, your Torgue explosive shotguns. It's just a fantastic way, and all the shotguns just really feel differently. They act differently. You can easily, use them very differently, and the differentiation is great. And when I go back to Borderlands 1, I just don't feel that, and that's where I kind of get disappointed with the Borderlands 1 gun system in comparison to this, and I hope they kind of keep this going forward. Although there are things they want back. Anyways, that's for another day. But not only with the brands, but with the barrels, there's such a good differentiation. All the barrels act very differently and have a lot of pluses and minuses to them. So that's what I want to cover in this one. I just wanted to talk about my love for the shotguns. So let's go over the actual barrels here. So the first one is kind of your standard. It's the Tediore barrel. The Tediore barrel actually doesn't do anything. It is your baseline. It is a single barrel, so typically 6 pellets. Your Hyperion is your other single barrel, which gives you increased accuracy, reduced recoil, and a better pellet spread, or a tighter, but you lose damage and magazine size with it. So there are some drawbacks to that. Jakobs is when you start adding in barrels. So with the Jakobs, you go to a double barrel, so you get more pellets, 5 extra pellets, 6 if it's Jakobs. You get extra weapon damage, and instead of 1 ammo a shot, it's now 2 ammo a shot. But you lose accuracy, recoil, fire rate, and it's a wider spread. Bandit barrels, which is a triple barrel, increases your pellet count by 8, increases your damage, magazine size, lowers, or actually increases your ammo cost to 3 per shot, lowers your accuracy, increases your recoil, lowers your fire rate, and increases your spread. Torgue, or the quad barrels, the 4 barrels, increase pellet count by 11, adds weapon damage, adds magazine size. It's now 4 ammo per shot. You lose accuracy, you have a wider spread, you lose fire rate, and you get increased recoil. So I'm not going to go over the E-Tech ones in there because they're too different. I wanted to focus on just the regular shotgun barrels. So I'm going to go brand by brand here and really talk about these and break them down and see what all that means. So as you see here, no skill points, no bar, nothing to affect my damage. All these are going to be non-elemental. So let's start with Jakobs. I wish I could put 5 guns on at once. That would make this so much easier. But alas, you cannot.
Tough decision.
Actually, yeah. Let's just get all these equipped and I'll throw out one. So I can pick that up later. So the Tediore one here is our baseline. So you can see all your stats here, 7 pellets. Now, Jakobs, you see all these other ones with a Tediore barrel have 6. Jakobs just naturally have an increased pellet count. That is part of what makes Jakobs shotguns Jakobs shotguns. So Jakobs shotguns have some of the highest damage. I'll compare this to some of the other Tediore barrels, so you can see here. So compared to Bandit, 285 instead of 245. Compared to Hyperion, 172 to 285. Now part of that is with the matching grips and stuff, with 208 to 285. Jakobs grips increase where Hyperion and Tediore lower. Compared to Torgue, you also have higher base damage. Now, Torgue does have splash damage, but I'll get into that when I go to Torgue. So you have the highest natural base damage. You have the fastest fire rate. You can see here 15 fire rate. A lot of these other ones are in the 1s, in the 2s to 3s. Tediore's, again, 2s to 3s. And the 1s, 1s and 2s with Tediore. So Jakobs shotguns are very fast, but they have a very low magazine count. So you typically only get a few shots out of them. Most of them are between 2 to 4 shots. And then you have to reload. But they do have the fastest reload speeds out of all the guns. And they have some of the best accuracy. So once again, to compare these to the other Tediores here. Is that the Tediore? Yeah. You can see the only thing it loses on is magazine size, which that one has 20. But better accuracy, better fire rate, better reload, but a tiny mag. Compared to the Hyperion on the base level, once again, way better damage. Hyperion wins in the accuracy count, but way better fire rate and better reload, not as good mag. On Tediore, better damage. You actually lose that accuracy battle here. Way better fire rate, not as good a reload, better and less mag. And then compared to the Torgue, you have, is that the, yeah, Torgue's got 5, not 6, they have less. Better damage, better accuracy, better fire rate, better reload, not as good mag. Now all these I'm going to have a blade on too, so that the accessory does not affect the stats. And that's because I didn't want anything swaying these, kind of like my good, the bad, and the ugly. So compared to the Long Rider here, which is the other single-barreled Hyperion for Jakobs, you can see you do lose damage. Now the Long Rider, you pick up a good chunk of accuracy, but you also go down to a 3-shot. And this one for the single barrels is tough. I like to break down the shotgun barrels into kind of 2 groups. You've got your single barrels, so your Hyperion and Tediore, and then you go to your multi-barrels of Jakobs, Bandit, and Torgue. So with these two, it's really tough, and it's kind of brand by brand. With shotguns, one of the biggest things that affect it is your accuracy, because an important thing to remember with shotguns is accuracy equals damage. Now, when you just look at a lot of these shotguns and you see these big damage numbers, that's cool and all, but if you can't hit the pellets, you don't actually get that kind of damage. So I actually want to pick this up instead of a quad. So with my Tediore here, I'm going to pop some shots here. 1.4. 719 on the second. 886. See if we can kind of get... Oh, there's a 1 something there. 1.4. 1.1. So if you're aiming pretty careful with this and you're critting a lot, you get some up there. The other thing I forgot to mention on Jakobs, they are the only shotgun with a critical hit buff. They have a 15% type B. So if we compare this to the Hyperion, 1-1, 1-1, 1-3. So you can see the damage potential on these two 1-6 is pretty close. And honestly, on these two guns, I have a hard time seeing which one's better, because you get a little more damage on the other one, but you're gonna miss a few more pellets. One nice thing about the Long Rider is you have pretty good range with this thing. A 760 from back here from a shotgun is not bad. A million from back here, that's spectacular. So also, if you're getting these guns, you don't actually want a Jakobs stock. I have all these just pure parts just for cosmetics of this video, but you can see the recoil in that Jakobs stock is not nice. But the 3 ammo versus the... That's a quad. The 3 ammo versus the 4 might be the difference, where you get a little bit better out of your scattergun rather than the long rider, the Tediore barrel. Because they're just so damn close, and I really have a hard time differentiating between these two, to be completely honest. I'm going to dump that, but I'm going to hold on to all my Tediore barrels for future testing. Now, moving on to the bigger barrels, you start off with your coach gun, the Jakobs barrel. And this is my favorite of these, and I'm going to go over why. A lot of people love the quads, and I do like busting out quads every now and then, especially with the twister and stuff. But the coach gun is a superior gun, even though you have lower damage. And this is where I'm going to get into a lot of this. So I'll go with Bandit last. So comparing the quad to the coach gun here stat-wise, you have higher damage per pellet with the quad, just barely, at 313,408 compared to 310,305. So 3,100 damage per pellet. But you also have 18 pellets compared to 13. But there is your accuracy. 50% accuracy to 23. And with that, you're going to land a lot more pellets and have a lot better range with that 50% accuracy to your 23. Now, that fire rate at 13 compared to 11 isn't a big deal. But the mag size on this one, they are both 2 shots. That's the good thing. But if you have any kind of magazine buffs like Foresight or Jakobs Allegiance Relic, you're going to be able to get the coach gun up to multiple shots faster than the quad. Because the quad, you need to add actually 3 ammo to it just to get a 3rd shot out of it. Where the coach gun, you only need to add 1 ammo to get a 3rd shot out of it. So you have an easier time getting more shots out of that coach gun with magazine buffs as well. And anytime you get more shots out of one of these guns, it's a big DPS boost. So, well, the quad has a lot more damage on the card here, even at this range. So 1.8 million. Alright, 2 million. 2.4. That's not a quad. 2.2. 2.1. So you see, I'm getting similar damage, 1.6. 2.0. So I'm getting similar damage with a coach as I am with a quad. But I'm using half the ammo. So you can see there I got a 2.9 with a quad. And the quad definitely can put out more damage without a doubt. Even at this range, you can get more damage with the quad. But is that small amount of better damage you're getting out of it worth 2 more ammo? Basically, am I getting almost double the damage? And the answer is no. So the coach gun, to me, is a much superior gun because of this reason. Now, if you're only using it at point blank, kind of my Twisted Pimp build, where I'm only using my twister at really point blank ranges, so there's a 3 million there. If I'm only using that at absolute point blank ranges, absolutely I love the quad, because then I'm just kind of using it every now and then. But if I want a little more versatility out of my shotgun, the coach gun it delivers such a similar damage output for half the ammo. And shotguns, as you can see, I'm already running low on ammo just shooting the test dummy a few times with these tests. Ammo goes fast, and it's a very, very important factor. Now, the Bandit barrel is sad. Now, If you find a bushwhack, it's still going to be a really good gun because it's a Jakobs shotgun and they are awesome. But as I compare it here to the Jakobs, let's just look at damage first. Actually, I'm going to start with these two again. So 310,000 per pellet and 313,000 per pellet. Now let's look at the bushwhack, 304. So I have 6,000 less damage per pellet. Or on this one, way less. Almost 10,000 less on that. And I only have 2 extra pellets from the coach gun because the matching barrel with the coach gun, instead of 2 extra, sorry, not 2, but you get an extra pellet on it. So most coach guns would have a 3 pellet difference between these two. But on this case, it's only 2 difference in the pellets. And you have less damage per pellet. So while the bushwhack has overall more damage there, it's not by much at all. Then, when you go to the accuracy, you notice that 33% accuracy. So the coach, again, has 50. The quad has 23. And this has 33. So the accuracy on this one is 10% higher than the quad, but 17% less than the coach gun. So it's closer to the quad in accuracy, and it has less damage per pellet, and it's still only a 2-shot. So you just don't really put out the same damage potential with this, especially for the ammo cost. Well, I should say it does have a similar damage potential to the coach gun, but you have less range, you're using more ammo, and you're not really putting out more damage, as you can see here. You're not out damaging a quad. So a bushwhack is always subpar to both the quad and the coach gun. Because you can put out similar damage, but for its range it has, because of its bad accuracy, if you're at that point blank range, a coach gun is going to, a quad's always going to do better. And at close range, your coach gun's also going to be about the same. And it's just, you're using more ammo to get the same results, and it's a small ammo pool. So that's not a good thing. So that's with Jakobs. If you are looking for a single barrel, you really can't go wrong with either or. They perform so closely. But if you are looking for the multi-barrels, the coach gun is going to be the right gun most of the time. Sometimes with Maya, I make the exception because of chain reaction. And if I'm getting similar results, sometimes those extra pellets with my quad just kills things a little bit faster. But most of the time I actually get better results with a coach gun. You'll see me in some videos using quads still, and that's just because they're fun, and sometimes I use them. But the coach gun generally is superior for just about everyone. So next brand, I'm going to move over to the other most popular with Torgue here. So let me get some of these equipped. Actually, I'll just throw them all in the other corner. That will be faster than pick them up. I'm learning. Alright. And is that my Tediore? Yep, that's the one I want.
Whoa.
Okay. So, Torgue shotguns compared to Jakobs. I got my quads here. Where's my quad? So you can see, that's not my quad. Ravager. You can see you have 2 less pellets here. So you don't have that increased Jakobs pellet count. Actually, I want that one in my backpack too. I'll save the quad for last. Now on Torgues, what makes them actually the hardest hitting is the fact that they have splash damage. So you can see there, I didn't hit him, but I'm still doing damage to him. So they have 85% splash damage on these shotguns. For a while, it accidentally got patched up to 100, but then it got fixed back to 85. Some people call that a nerf. I called it a fix. But these shotguns have basically really good stomping power, but really bad reloads, really bad fire rate. Not the greatest of accuracies. Slow pellet speed, which makes the accuracy seem a little bit worse. Yeah, it's just harder to hit and crit enemies, making to me these single barrels kind of bad. Where the Jakobs single barrels, you can put out a lot of good damage by just critting and being ammo efficient with them. On these ones, you can see here, the Tediore, you get better damage, less accuracy. If I'm on Torgue and I am looking for a single, I'm going Tediore barreled, because better base damage with the splash damage equals quite a bit more damage, and that I don't think that accuracy is enough to save that Hyperion having less damage on it. With the slow bullet speed, you're just not critting enough, but I just don't think these are the best of them. Now, comparing the Tediore to the baseline to some of these other shotguns, so you can get a feel for that. With here, you have one less pellet on these, and I'm surprised they have better damage. Oh, that's with the extra pellets. It's not better damage per pellet. But you're actually winning the accuracy battle here. But with the lower... Oh, bandits are the least accurate, though, too. But with a lower pellet speed, I don't even know if it really is all that more accurate. You can see the fire rate's low. The meg's still not great. In comparison to the Hyperion, there you see a big damage increase, but way less on every other stat here. Compared to Jakobs, once again, 2 less pellets is a big deal. A little bit less accuracy, way less fire rate, worse reload, slightly better mag. And to the Tediores, why do I have 2 Tediore barrel Tediores? Because for some reason I'm missing a quad barrel Tediore. I'll have to fix that and do those last. So, compared to the Tediore, you have 1 less pellet, but you still have more damage because you have quite a bit more per pellet, but you see you lack in all the other ones. So with Torgues, I would never look for a single barrel, because it's just going to be really hard to crit enemies. You know, I can crit this guy because he's sitting still. But you're not going to get a lot of crits with these guns like you are with the Jakobs. So in my opinion, you're better off just leaving these alone and going for your multi-barrels. But if you do go with one, I definitely think the Tediore is a better one to look for. Now on your multi-barrels, Torgue, in my opinion, is a little bit different. I actually prefer the Ravager over the Pounder or the Hulk. So the Bandit barrel here still kind of suffers the same as the other ones. So here I have 339,000 per pellet, 290 because you get that matching. So in this one there's a bigger difference of that, and then 299. So on this one, the Bandit has more damage than the Jakobs, unlike Jakobs, because you don't have the matching grip bonus. But at 299 to 339, that's quite a bit less damage per pellet. Now in this one you can see you do have 4 more pellets instead of 2 more pellets, which really helps the Hulk compared to the Pounder, unlike with Jakobs. But because on these Torgue shotguns, you're not using them for mid-range, because you're not going to hit that much even at mid-range, unless it's a really slow big target like Crystalix or something. Typically these are going to be kind of point-blank guns, and The Ravager, with the splash damage and all those extra pellets, you're just going to hit a lot with it. So to kind of do these short shots here. So there you have 1.4, 1.8, and a 500,000. So altogether is two. Let's try to get some quick math here. 3, almost just shy of 4 million there. So once again there, just a lot of numbers popping out. But you can see nowhere near 4 million there. Go to the bush. You know, still pretty decent, but nowhere near. And that's another one. Can I get a better shot there? So that one, you're over 3 million still. You know, that one we might be getting close to 4. So you got about 2 there. Another 2, definitely over 3 there as well. So the Ravager, even at this range, is just putting out a lot of punishment because the massive base damage, the massive amount of pellets, and everything. And on these ones, you know, this, you don't have those extra Jakobs bonuses or the matching bonuses that you did with Jakobs. So this one, you know, you're not getting that much more range, and the damage isn't really that close to it. And these guns, they're not primary weapons. Torgue guns, in my opinion. So if you're looking for Torgue guns, I would be looking primarily for the Ravager, and secondary maybe the Hulk. And other than that, I really wouldn't bother with Torgue shotguns that much, because if you're going into the single barrel shotguns, you're going to be better off with Jakobs or Hyperion. The coach gun can definitely compete with the Ravager for your close range. Oh, and the coach gun can spread out to a little bit of kind of close to mid range, where the Ravager is really just close range. The quad will also compete with the Ravager at close range, but these other ones, they're not going to really compete with these other brands. So with Torgue, you're looking for the Hulk and the Ravager primarily, just to put a lot of pellets into something's face right in front of you. You're really not going to be using them as primary weapons. And I'm going to go Bandit next. So let's just toss these out.
Wow.
And is that the barrel I want? That's one of them.
That is lovely.
Alright. So Bandit shotguns, in my opinion, are they might be the worst of the bunch. Well, the extra magazine size in theory is really awesome. The fact that one of Bandit's penalties is they have the worst accuracy out of all the guns in the game really hurts here, because once again, I'm going to reiterate what Chuck 80 said in his shotgun thread. Accuracy equals damage. And Bandit sucks at that. So, Bandit Tediore here. I should have kept my Tediore. Not the Stalker. Where are you? There we go. I'm not going to be able to pick that up. Alright, I'll just compare it out here. If I can get to it. So, well, I kind of already compared those two. I don't need to do that again. So, your Bandit Tediore grips compared to some of your other brands. Here you have it compared to the Hyperion. You do have more damage by a good chunk. Once again, Hyperion's got low damage, but you lose a lot in that accuracy there. Almost 20% less accurate. 55% for a single barrel. Remember, the coach gun with 13 pellets had 50% accuracy. This thing with 6 has 55. That's pretty bad. Your fire rate at 1.3 is pretty terrible. 3.5 reload is really high. And at 20 in the magazine shot, getting 20 shots out of that is really good. But what are you doing with those shots? So once again, to compare it to the Jakobs here, 63%, that's almost about 8% less accuracy, and you have one less pellet, which makes it even worse. The fire rate there is a shame. The reload is 1.2 higher, which is a lot in this game. Granted, you do have that big mag. Compared to your Tediore, you have, again, more damage, which you should, but over 10%, almost 11, over 11% less accuracy. You have less fire rate by a little bit, and 1.5 worse on the reload. So, I don't really recommend any Bandit shotguns outside of some red text ones, really. Just because of this. I mean, you can see how slow you're firing. You're not really putting up big numbers. So once again, I can't really recommend the single barrels. Now, one thing different with Bandit that I should cover is Jakobs are always non-elemental. Torgue are always explosive, as you guys probably know. And Bandit, you can get them in the elements. But with these, as you can see, you're not putting out pellets very fast. You're very inaccurate. Now, at least with a Hyperion barrel, if I was going to go with a single barrel, I'd probably go with that Hyperion just because you have that accuracy on this one should make a difference. So 710, there's a million. 812, 609, 710. $218, $436. There's a million. But I'm getting a lot of low damage numbers with that Tediore. This one I'm hitting a lot more consistent, better numbers. So if I was going to go with a single barrel, I would go with the Hyperion for that accuracy. And there's not a lot of characters in this game with accuracy fixes. But honestly, I wouldn't really recommend any of those. Now, on your bigger barrels... Now, in this one, the Bandit, you're going to get your matching bonuses. So, on this one, your cleaner has got a decent amount better pellet count. Or, sorry, not pellet count, but damage per pellet there. But 20% accuracy is so bad. You do have additional mag on that, but at 3 ammo per shot, you're getting 10 shots out of your Sweet Sweeper, and on your 3, you are not getting 10 shots. That would need 30. So, yeah, you have less shots out of that. Yeah, that, goddamn it, 20% accuracy is a killer. Now, on the quad barrel at 9.3 accuracy, 9.3, that's so terrible. Remember this Jakobs, I was in the Torgue, we were getting some massive numbers. But this one, you're just not putting out a whole lot of big numbers there. Because, yeah, that's just terrible accuracy. You know, to compare it to a quad, 23% accuracy is a lot better than 9. I mean, 9 is just... that's scary. Where's my Ravager? 21 again with a Ravager. So this thing... And if you put a vertical grip on that, which, you never should, but that's another video, you're not going to be hitting anything. So, because of this gun, at point-blank range, you don't have the stopping power of the Ravager or quad. I really can't recommend it. You don't have a great fire rate to put a lot of bullets into enemies. You do get stuck with a reload, it's terrible. And essentially here you have a lot shorter of a magazine because it's 4 ammo per shot. So I really can't recommend that. God, if I'm going to go with any of them, it's probably going to be the Bandit barrel because the matching bonuses will help you. So you can see this, compared to that quad, I'm getting similar damage for less ammo, and that's a win. So if I'm going for any bandit gun, it's going to be the matching barrel with a room cleaner. The sweeper, you're not consistently putting out those same numbers, and well, you are saving a little ammo. If you're going for a double barrel, I mean, the coach gun is just going to be so much better than this. I mean, this essentially, compared to a Jakobs quad again, you do have better accuracy than the quad there, but only by 7% for 8 less pellets, which is really shit. So yeah, Bandit, you know, a lot of people kind of crap on Bandit guns in Borderlands 2, and with the shotguns, they're rightfully so. The big mag is not enough to warrant the... it might be enough to warrant the bad reload speed on these, but it's definitely not... The accuracy is the killer on them. It makes them pretty damn hard to use. I'm going to throw that in that corner over there better. So, moving on to Hyperion.
That is beautiful.
Whoa, you're running away. Good, that's one I wanted right away. So Hyperion guns are pretty interesting. Am I missing one? Where'd they go? Oh, shit. I picked them all up and now one went back. Development. Okay, so that can stay over there. So with the Hyperion, you get your reverse recoil, which is really great because, once again, we said earlier, accuracy equals damage. And with these ones, you can stay on crit. And you can even do that hip firing. So before I go into these much further, I'm going to quick buy some ammo. Getting down to that point. So, the Tediore barrel here, compared to some of these others, you can see the Jakobs, again, a lot less damage, but that accuracy, damn, 10% more. 10 in the mag is really solid here. The fire rate at 3.6 is a lot better than anything but Jakobs. Again, to compare to Tediore here, that's a big difference in fire rate. You do have less damage, but you do have a bigger mag, although slower reload. Comparing to the Jakobs of its... I already did that. To the Bandit of its kind, once again, which we already kind of looked at. No, where are you? There you are. So again, a lot less damage, but almost 20% more accuracy, better fire rate, much better reload, although half the mag. But with that accuracy, like I said, that's a decent amount of DPS I just threw out there. Now on these Hyperions, when you compare the single barrels, the extra accuracy is nice here, but I don't know if it's really worth the lower damage. But they do put out a fairly similar numbers, as you can see here, going down to 3s on some bad shots when he's turning his head. But a lot of times I'm around 700, 800. Well, you know what? I am getting higher numbers of that Hyperion. So, yeah, that accuracy is enough to warrant the lower damage. So, on a Hyperion, I think I would go with the Hyperion matching barrel. Now, part of that might be the matching barrel effect, where the damage drop off. Oh, duh, never mind, because it's a matching barrel. Oh, wait, no, I do. I thought I got confused. But you're looking at less than 2,000 difference in damage. that's not much. And when it's that little difference in damage, but you're getting up to 80% accuracy, these are really good. Now, especially, like, this thing's got really good range on it for a shotgun, which is nice. You do not get many shotguns that you can fire at this kind of distance. And the other nice thing is you can hip fire it with it really good, like all Hyperion guns. So this is a really good, one of the better single barrels. Outside of Jakobs, it'd really just be this and Jakobs for kind of your longer range shotguns. Although there's some debate if long range shotguns really even should be an option. Or something you really want to use. Now on your bigger barrels, should have thrown that in the corner. It's fine there. You go 10, 14, 17, so an increase of 3 pellets on all of these. Or sorry, 10 to 14, so 4 and then 3. I think these are kind of like Jakobs, where kind of in between Jakobs and Torgue. The Bandit barrel, once again, so you have 178,000 damage. On this one you have 185, so you have more damage per pellet. 4 extra pellets, less fire rate, and 4 shot instead of a 5 shot. And because Hyperions have decent fire rates, it feels like I'm reloading more often with them than with a lot of guns. Because they have not a terribly long reload, but long enough. And they fire so fast, you just kind of go into that reloading phase. I mean, Jakobs are like that too, but you know, they're a little bit more designed that way. So let's see here. Let's pop some bullets here. So 1.299. I think I'm getting some fairly consistent results here, as I should, at 1.3. So on this one, with the Bandit barrel, I am putting out quite a bit better damage.
A fantastic day for capitalism. Nothing like a good 2 words, my friend. No refund.
And now with this, one nice thing with Hyperions, though, you kind of retain your accuracy through the reloads a little bit. 1.4, 1.2. So I'm getting a little bit better damage with this thing. Oh, there's quite a bit better than the Bandit barrel. But these two aren't far off from each other. So unlike the Jakobs, where I definitely preferred the Coach gun or the Jakobs barrel, on the Hyperion, because they are so accurate, once again, to compare the accuracies here of my Coach guns, 23 up to 44. That's significant. So 1 less pellet, but 23 to 44 is pretty huge. And you know, even this compared to my Ravager, wherever it is hiding, you know, again, 21 to 44 or 9 to 44. So this thing is so accurate. I do really like it, but the problem with this gun is a 3 shot. Oh, is it a 4? Oh, alright, it is a 4 shot. But I just feel like I'm burning through so much ammo with it, and there's not a lot of ammo mitigation in this game, unlike the pre-sequel. Where this one, well, still a 4 shot. So these guns, they're tight. I definitely think the Coach gun barrel for these are kind of out. It's just a little bit lackluster. But for the ammo consumption and damage they put out, these two are fairly close. 52% accuracy for 14 pellets is pretty solid. Although, honestly, that's really just in coach gun range. Where did my coach gun go? So the coach gun's got 13 pellets for 50 accuracy. But Hyperions can be elemental, so you get that. But yeah, it's pretty much a toss up between these two. Generally, I don't like the Bandit barrels too much because of the accuracy penalty and some of that stuff. But on this one, there's not a big difference in damage. You do actually get 3 extra pellets. So I don't know how much that accuracy of 3 less pellets is. You do get a better fire rate too, 2.9 to 2.6. And they're both 4 shots. Although this is an even 4 shots, which is nice. So if you do get accuracy buffs, you get a better chance of getting more shots out of it than this one that's behind the curve. So in those ones, you can kind of go with either one and be fairly safe. Now moving on to Tediore, and I'll be right back with that. Alright, so for Tediore's gimmick as a manufacturer, as we all know, when you throw it, it explodes, and the more ammo in the magazine, the more extra damage you get on the throw reload. That doesn't work well for shotguns because shotguns don't have a big magazine. On a lot of other guns, you can get, 20, 30, 40, whatever bullets in there, and it works really well. But again, on these shotguns, not so much. So, well, Jakobs fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, kind of short mag, big damage, works incredibly well, as well as a critical hit bonus. Torgue's splash damage just hits like a hammer. Hyperion's accuracy works great. Tediore like Bandit, with Bandit's low accuracy, and Tediore really has nothing to help it here. Stat-wise, it's lower damage than the Bandits, the Jakobs, the Torgue by far. Accuracy-wise, it's pretty solid, but without the reverse recoil like Hyperion, you're not going to compete with Hyperion accuracy. The fire rate's on the very low side for shotguns. And while the reload speed is sweet, it's not enough to make up for the rest of it. You even have kind of small mags on these. So regular Tediore shotguns are not all that great. So right here I have the single barrels. And you can see on some of these shots, I didn't even get a K on there. The other thing that sucks is shotguns are typically at close range, and because you have short mags, there's a good chance of you blowing one up on your face. So again here, this is putting up better damage than the other one, but not by a whole lot. These are kind of weak. Can't really recommend either of these. On the big side, it's kind of the same thing. Tediore kind of falls into lines with Bandit. Well, the accuracy is 30% on your quad, 39 on your triple, and 48 on your double is not bad. The damage, a 4-shot, 3, no, it's a 4-shot still, and a 3-shot. This is a 3-shot. On Jakobs, you got a 2-shot with way more damage, way more fire rate. It's just, you can see this fire rate is fucking terrible. And if you're using that at point blank range, you have a good chance of blowing yourself up. But even these damage shots, getting a lot of these pellets on target, I'm barely getting over 1 million. This one I'm not. If I'm aiming more for crits, I'm doing a little bit better, but then I'm missing a ton of pellets. So this one I'm still not putting up much. So kind of like Bandit, I can't really recommend any of these Tediore shotguns. They're all pretty lackluster, and like I said, if you're fighting enemies at point blank like that, there's a good chance of just throwing that in your face and blowing it up on you, or if it blows up on the enemy, you're close enough to take your own self-damage. So yeah, Tediore shotguns, I'm not really a fan of any of them, outside of some red text ones, of course. because there's some damn good ones there. So, I guess to summarize on barrels by brand, what you want to really look for is on Hyperion, the Thinking or the Hyperion barrel is definitely, I think, on the top of the game for Hyperion. This might be the best single barrel shotgun in the game because of the accuracy and the fire rate combined. I love it on things, racks or surveyors or a lot of those kind of hard to hit annoying things off in the distance, because with the spread it's a little more forgiving where you can kind of hit them while they're moving better, and even if you kind of miss a few pellets you can hit them with a few, which can make them better than like pistols and a lot of guns for hitting those like flying annoying creatures. It's great for things like stalkers. It comes in all elements. This might be the best single barrel in the game. The only one to compete with this would be your Jakobs ones, but because they don't come in elements, and although they're very accurate, they're not nearly as accurate, and that reverse recoil lets you hip fire it, and it's just really good. So this might be the best single barrel. Now, if you like Hyperions, both the triple and the quad barrel, the crowdsourcing and development, are also very solid. For Jakobs, the coach gun is just by far the best. This is one of the best shotguns in the game. It's great at close range. It's great at kind of, you can get out to mid-range with it. And you can just pop off so many shots and so much damage with it so fast and so good. And it's really ammo efficient, unlike the quads and stuff. Although, any Jakobs shotgun you get, especially if you're leveling up, is probably going to be a pretty good shotgun. But this is the top of the top, the one you want to look for. On the Torgue side, I can't really recommend a whole lot besides the Ravager. Now again, doesn't mean the other ones aren't usable, but if you're going for the best of the best, I would be looking for the Ravager, because this thing at point blank, it does not do self-damage, which is important, as you can see. And this thing just packs a punch like no other. Now, these would be my top 3 recommendations for things to look for, but like I said, the development, the crowdsourcing for Hyperion is good. Jakobs, a quad, is also really good, or the Hyperion barrel. Bandit I can't recommend too much, same as Tediore. But these would be kind of what I would be looking for. These would be my kind of primary shotguns I would go for. They kind of hit the range of long range, more medium, at least long for shotgun, medium for shotgun, and short for shotgun on the barrel types. But hopefully that all helps you guys kind of figure out what you're looking for barrels. And it's not always just the flat out quad barrel every time for every shotgun and what you're looking for, because a lot of them serve different purposes, or a lot of times like the coach gun can definitely outdo the quad. And I think you guys have seen that in some of my videos where I use both of them. So I'm going to continue on doing some of these videos, as I've been doing a lot of these tip videos here and there. But I'm going to do another shotgun one just for accessories. I might actually wrap up elements and stocks into that one as well, because there's not a whole lot to say to those. So once again, thanks for watching. I hope you guys found this informative. I went over quite a bit in this video. Hope it was easy to follow. If you guys have not subscribed yet, please do. Leave a like down below. I appreciate when you guys share these, and go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you're not yet doing that, to keep up with everything I'm putting out. Once again, thank you. See you later. Bye.